outside of the particular clients? What is it that you're offering to the general public? What are you trying to sell? Understanding that, once you understand that, figuring out the audience in which you're trying to appeal to. I always tell people, there's no such thing. I know we always say something is oversaturated, something is oversaturated. You're never oversaturated as a person, because 5 million people can be doing graphic designers, but what makes your graphics stand out? Are you not putting a big ass watermark in the back of your stuff, or are you catering to a particular demographic that graphic designers are normally catered to? So figuring out where it is that you can be an asset to, and figuring out what your contributions and what are to society. And once you start there, everything else seems to fall into place. And I always tell people, if you feel like you can do what you doing for the rest of your life without making money, that's what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to focus on your talent and your craft first, and allow the money to come in, and not the other way around.
Okay, I agree with that 100%. So the next question I want to ask, because everybody goes through this, like coming in your lane, get into your success. Like, I know I done had lots of obstacles. I done went through things that made me feel like I want to stop. I don't want to do it no more. But I still keep on pushing through. What's some things that you would say that you probably encountered sometimes that made you feel like you didn't want to do it no more, but then you still kept pushing? And like, what motivated you to keep pushing? Even because graphic designers go through that a lot. Sometimes it can get real devastating, like, because when you designing behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy for somebody to take you for granted, take advantage of you, because you're behind the scenes, so nobody won't really know. And nobody's supposed to say anything. You're always supposed to stay quiet. So what's some things that you may have encountered that, you still went past it?
I think a lot of times people don't understand just how much we work, how much a publicist know everything before it actually happens. And a lot of times we're the reason why things are happening. It's all about the storyline. And artists sometimes feel like that their fame is solely them. They have the talent, and it was meant for them to be famous. I'm never going to take that away from them, but they don't appreciate the amount of work and the obstacles that we jump through. Case in point, Fashion Week. Fashion Week is one of the hardest weekends, no matter what lister you are, whether you're A, B, C, D, E, F, G lister, no matter what it is. It's hard for Fashion Week because you're not just competing with one particular industry, you compete with all industries at that point, and everyone wants the best looking, the best dressed person sitting on the front row. So I think one instance that really stands out to me is when I had to literally go in and steal credentials to make sure that my client got into a particular show because they were denied multiple times. And in their eyes, they paid me to make sure that they were everywhere at Fashion Week and they wanted to be at this particular show. And so for me, I don't take no for an answer. And so it was me getting inside because I got approved press credential to get inside to make sure that I could figure out what the credentials are, get those credentials, and literally sit my clients in front row in someone else's seat and stand there so that the team would not move them. And before, it was easy to get discouraged before I went into survival mode, because I was like, damn, they just get denied for everything. But then I had to think about it. Ultimately, if God brings you to it, he's going to get you through it. So it's always stop, don't get frustrated, think about a million different solutions. And I'm a type of person, if it comes to your mind 9 times out of 10, you can do it and get away with it.
Exactly. That's really true. And see, the thing is like what you're saying, that really applies in every area of business. Like, you know, there's so many things that can make you feel like you want to stop, but you still got to keep pushing. And that's how I am. Like, I don't really take no for an answer, but sometimes I ain't gonna lie, because I'm a Leo, sometimes I be like, fuck it, I don't really care. But most of the time it's not, that's not really the way to think of it. You really shouldn't take no for an answer. So what would you say? I know what I look at when I look at Freshy, what makes Freshy stand out so different to me personally from other PRs. What would you say make you stand out from other PRs? And let me say this before I say this, it ain't even about because he done did stuff for Cardi B and stuff like that. I just look at something different in you that I feel like make you stand out from other people.
I think when people have a perception of PR, they think stuffy. They think we're always mad, we're always upset. They think they really don't know what to think. I think what makes me stand out and why I've been able to be so successful is that I'm very vocal, I'm very transparent. I'm always looking for ways to bring others up. And I really just love what I do. I think I'm fashionable. I'm not the publicist that's going to be wearing black. If my clients is fly, I'm going to be fly, but the work is always going to get done. And I think I literally just live up to what the name, if a person heard the name Freshy, I think everything that I embody literally goes with that name. And so it's kind of self-explanatory. My name is my brand is my name, and we stand for a certain type of, thing. And I think it comes across what we stand for.
Okay, so the way I'm gonna do this. I got like 2 more questions, but after that, I want to give them all a chance to ask you some things on what. Because the way I like to do it, I like it to be an open discussion too. I don't want it to be like where it's just me just interviewing a person. So I want to give them all the chance to really ask you anything they want to ask you. They all respectful. You know what I'm saying? This ain't like high school, so everybody respectful. But one of the other things that I really wanted to ask you, what was it? It was right off the tip of my head too. Oh yeah, have you ever dibbled and dabbed in graphic design before?
I do. I'm not gonna say I'm a graphic designer. I'm a canvas genius though. Like when it's time to make something and I can't find a graphic designer, again, because I don't believe in no for an answer, I will make stuff. Like I've made flyers and everything, and I can do a presentation, I can do an EPK, but I wouldn't call it graphic design because it's very much so layering opposed to color coding and all of the extra photoshopping and stuff y'all do. So I know my lane. It's just not graphic design.
Right. Okay, and the last question I want to ask you, when you look at graphic artists who you may work with, connect with, what do you expect from them? Like, what are some things that you would see that you would expect, like in order for you to actually say, okay, you can work with me, or what do you expect from them when anybody on your team actually?
Anybody on my team, punctuality, can do and will do attitude. I love for a person to be proactive. I love for a person to think. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I give someone something, a lot of times I just throw things at people to see if they can figure out a solution to it. When you have to come back and ask me 9 million questions and they're questions that you can find, it's a total turn off. So I just love people to be smart. Be smarter than your phone. And it's so easy to be smarter than your phone. All you gotta do is pick up your phone and use it. Anything in this world any type of information that you're seeking is right at the palm of your hand. And so coming back to me without even trying is like a pet peeve of mine. But I just like people who understand who they are, what they stand for, and are true to themselves and love what they do. You just have to really love what you do, because I can respect what you do, or respect you for doing what you do, if you don't love what you do.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, like I said, I'm gonna give everybody. I want everybody. Are y'all on mute still, or I got y'all off mute? Y'all should be off mute. So
sorry, I'm for my other phone.
I'm gonna give y'all a chance to ask some questions real quickly. Anybody wants to go first, you can just unmute yourself, ask him anything y'all want to ask him. Don't be disrespectful, just ask nice questions, but go ahead, whoever wanna, introduce yourself and ask anything.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hi. I wanted to ask you, you said no, my name is Anais, and I'm from New York, and I wanted to ask, you said no marketing first before you know PR?
Well,
so when you got into when you finally got into your doing public relations, what you knew about marketing, what helped you in that?
And let me reiterate what I meant by that. It's not more so that you have to know marketing before you know PR, but if you're seeking a publicist for representation, you just should have marketing first. And you should understand the difference between marketing and PR. And the way I found out the difference between marketing and PR was just researching. Marketing is paid advertisement, and PR is earned representation, earned media. So basically, you're not paying to be featured in the news. You've built a brand based off of interest, and so because you built a brand based off interest, people are interested in telling your story.
Okay, so you're the one who connects the people to the audience so people can hear your story.
Yes, and so what marketing is finding out what the audience is, so that I know
Yeah,
as a
I
publicist what
understand
to target.
marketing. Yeah, because the thing is that, all right, I'm I'm taking marketing courses, and I also taken marketing courses in the past. So I wanted to know, like, when it comes to this type of business and graphic design, how would PR fall into marketing? Because I
Um,
believe like graphic design and marketing could go hand in hand in a lot of ways.
and it can, and so where PR falls in um, it's our job to tell the story. So I'm approving the graphics. I'm approving the marketing schedule. It has to match the story and the storyline that we've created to tell.
Okay, I got you. All
So we're
right.
like the cherry on
Thank
top.
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I get it. Thank
They
you.
like and the thing about it is lots of PRs kind of have the connections that some, especially like graphic artists like me, see, I kind of done been around for a minute to build certain connections. So it's kind of easy for me to go to certain people with certain things. But like for newer people that's coming in though, sometimes a PR I think could be the middle person piece. Like for instance, like I say with Hyper Magazine, I didn't have no connection whatsoever to them. But the PR, like, and the thing is, now I could approach them on myself, but it would have been a lot more harder. Like I would have been having, sometimes with certain things, you end up having to go through so much just to get through to like the main person. Like there's a lot of, it is what it is. I'm just gonna call it, there's a lot of haters out here. So some people may see that you good at something, and if they see you good at something, they'll try to stop you from getting in there for whatever reason. They may have their own intentions on whatever. I mean, everybody know who Selena is that died, like how that woman killed her and was stopping everybody from getting into her. Like, so having a PR sometimes, they may be the one middle piece connect, you know, and sometimes you have to pay a little bit of money for PRs, but it's okay though, because it'd be worth it, because they can sometimes be the middle connect person, maybe just maybe for what you're trying to get to with that certain company versus having to go through all the motions and the frustrations and this, that, and everything else. So anybody else has any questions? Come on, I know somebody got
I
something.
may have a question. So, just say like I sell shirts and stuff, and so a PR be used to get that out there, or like you say, you have to do
Um,
marketing first, then
so
like
you
you
would
say
definitely want to
branding.
do marketing and branding first, but what a PR publicist definitely helps. We will help like placements. Let's say you had these shirts and you wanted to get them on certain people. You had a wish list to get them on Beyonce. You had a wish list to get them on these other people. One, I tell you, go do a marketing plan, make it big, make your brand big. Or it doesn't even have to just be big, make it attractive. Know who your audience is, what your brand story is, and make sure it's good. Then what I would do is figure out a way to get that on Beyonce and get that picture of Beyonce in that shirt and make sure that the media has
Oh,
that
okay.
picture so that you get the exposure and you're getting the exposure. We do something called PR boxes where we find all of the hottest influencers, all the coolest people, and we send products out to those particular people. We target those particular people as it
Okay.
pertains to placing your shirt on those people, because we know if such and such is seen in your shirt, then that's going to be really good for your brand.
Okay. I got it. Okay.
All right, so do we got any more questions before? Okay, go ahead, Tiffany.
Freshy, would you recommend a PR for well, I know I forgot, Kim just said she, sells shirts or whatnot, but for a person who's starting like an online boutique, you would suggest like a PR for something like that?
I would honestly say you can do more marketing take a more marketed based route for that and use marketing. And once you've gotten it to a certain place, then you can start seeking out PR representation. But with an online boutique, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, all types of other ads are available for you. And essentially what we will be doing is once you've gotten that brand to another place, then we can now put you in these magazines or in these fashion columns and things like that, so people know that your clothing line does exist. And then we can go further than that when you're starting to have excess of shipments and product on hand. Then we can start getting you in trade shows and to the Essence festivals and things like that.
Okay, thank you.
So somebody just asked Fresh, they say, is a PR good for a photographer?
Depending on what type of photographer you want to be, it could a publicist could work for anyone who has the budget, who has an established brand and a continuous story to tell. Those are like the key pieces of information you need to know when you're looking for obtaining a publicist. I always like to tell people, and I tell people the truth, a publicist is not to build your brand. You should already have a brand to start working with a publicist. A publicist is to get your brand out there and make your brand notable and newsworthy. Okay. But it takes a lot of work on your end as well. It's not just all about the publicists, because remember, we're all connections. We're all about connections over here. So like, we connect the dots, we tell the story, we create the narrative, but you still have to work. You still have to constantly produce on your end. You still have to be able to feed your audience. We still have to have some sort of ammo to put in our gun to shoot out.
Right, because without any type of content or anything, it's almost like a person sending you information saying, I want you to do a website, but they don't send you no type of information.
But I don't have no content, so I can't send anything to anywhere.
They said wedding photographer.
Again, there are some wedding photographers that use publicists, but you have to establish your brand prior to hiring a publicist. Because like, all we would do is get your pictures and stuff published in like bridal magazine and stuff like that. So you have to have already solidified and perfected your brand.
Okay. So if anybody else got any more questions before he gets out of here? Anybody?
I have another question.
Okay.
If you're just starting off as a web designer or graphic designer, regardless of what field you're in, would you say that you should build up your following first, like organically, or should you just get a publicist or somebody to do marketing for you off jump?
Well, publicists don't really handle marketing. But so I would suggest you build up your portfolio. You don't have to have a crazy following, and it's not about how many followers you have. It's about who's following you. You want to make sure that your engagement of following is outstanding. Again, it's all about who's following you, not how many people are following you. And so I would perfect my brand and then get a publicist, because all I'm going to do is refer you to other clients and other opportunities, and then write about you and your personal brand and how you've built this brand. So you would have wanted to already establish a brand. And I would definitely, if you are in the digital field of creating digital content, i.e. websites, flyers, graphics, and all those type of things, I would figure out how to target a specific audience and demographic utilizing your social media.
All right, so did that answer your question, Bethany?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so here's what I want everybody to do. Before he put his information in there. So you guys go follow him on social media, and y'all can ask him whatever y'all want to ask him there. He be busy though, so sometimes he may get to y'all a little bit late. You know, there'll be times I gotta actually really go on the hunt for him. But he's good people. Definitely go follow him. And I want y'all to follow him because real talk, like, there's certain people. Here's the thing, okay? And one of the reasons I want to bring him on here, because even though he's not in the graphic design field, and I'm quite sure y'all noticed that a couple of people I brought on here, they're not graphic designers. They actually are in other fields. But I want y'all to see kind of like how working amongst other people, get their point of views of what it's like working with graphic artists. Not only that, I want y'all to be able to understand how important it is sometimes. The reason why I tell y'all to always follow everybody that's coming on here, because you want to follow who you follow on social media is very important. I personally feel like if you following somebody with positive energy, you want to follow people that's going to have positive things going on, that's going to always, when you look at their page, it can inspire you. Like, if I can't get inspired by you, I don't need to be following you. So definitely make sure y'all go and follow him. I'm going to hit you up when this is over, Freshy. I want to thank you for coming on here.
No problem. Thank you guys for listening. I'm excited. I'm excited for y'all. Make sure y'all follow me. I do follow back. I don't follow private pages, so I'm just going to be completely honest, but I definitely follow back.
All right, and have fun at. I mean, I wish I could have been at the mulatto thing, but have fun at that. You know, that sounds like a lot of fun because I definitely think mulatto's the next Cardi. Well, Cardi B's her own person, but I think mulatto
But she's
definitely
next up.
coming. She coming up next. Like it's her time to come. So I'm happy for her on that.
Dope. I appreciate you having me.
No problem, buddy.
Talk soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye.